Welcome to another episode of Drive presented by Oddschecker. My name is Andy Wack. I'm joined today by Geoff Fienberg, another long shot winner on the PGA Tour. I certainly did not have a piece of Austin Eckroat. My dreams were dashed with that Shane Lowry water ball on 15, but hopefully we can get off the schneid this week, my friend, at a great golf course, a really fun test of golf. That was not my Honda last week. So if they neuter Bay Hill too, Geoff, I say we just revolt.
So last year, Andy, I believe it was very heavy favorites. There's a lot of favorites, a lot of chalk, even through the swing season. And then in the big events. And then we got to Bay Hill and Kurt Kitayama showed up. And then from then on, it felt like the majors, lots of them, and the elevated events were not being won by the top as nearly like we're used to. I think it stops. It ends.
It has to.
Like it just has to. I don't know, but it's just got to. The good players are here. You could take that for what it's worth because lots of good players are kind of still missing. And as I joked, Andy, maybe one of the reasons they got rid of match play is because you put that stuff on paper in bracket form. Doesn't look too appealing. You notice who'd be missing. I'm still not happy we lost match play, but anyhow, let me get back on the wheels here. Big guns showing up at Bay Hill, a great golf course. Maybe we'll find a worthy champion.
I mean, if it doesn't end at this golf course, then I don't know when it ever will, because I would argue that I know I said this about Torrey Pines. Bay Hill actually accentuates tee to green skill even more so than Torrey Pines. But I would put Bay Hill, gosh, Memorial maybe comes close, but in terms of a golf course that separates elite tee to green skill and probably features the least amount of putting variance, Bay Hill's in the top 3 minimum. I would put it number 1 for non-majors. So I'm going heavy this week as I typically do. I actually surprisingly was able to find some better numbers than I had originally expected on my 2 big guns. So now I am in this awkward range where I have room for like either one more guy at 40 or a couple bombs, but I'm pretty pot committed at the top, and maybe you can help me out with this, Geoff. And we can talk about these 2 guys, but we'll end up having a conversation about the whole top of the board because these guys are pretty much in that top tier. And I have a feeling you might share one of those with me. But I need, you know how I coined the Disgusting Brothers from Succession for Xander and Cantlay? I need something for Ludwig and Hovland. Like, if you're going to the mats with those boys and those boys only this week, like, I want to feel better I want to say something different than I'm betting Ludwig and Hovland. Like, I'm betting the blank. I keep thinking of Alexander Skarsgård in Succession to keep with the Succession theme, but those are my horses this week, the Scandinavian double. And I feel wonderful about it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a classic wrestling tag team where both guys went on to become like absolute singles monsters. I'm not sure, Andy. I'm not going to lie. So full disclosure, under 30 to 1, I've made one bet. You've said his name. It is Ludwig. We can get into that in a moment, but we've long acknowledged he's course proof. He played well here as an amateur. He's had college success here. I think he's going to drive the ball as far as he drives the ball. I think he's going to make some putts. I am super excited. I'm super excited for it. That being said, Andy, when I look under 20 to 1 here, and it starts with Scotty on that odds checker grid as high as plus 650 that I see, and Rory in at 9 to 1. And then the players beyond them from Hovland to Xander to Cantlay. It's hard to know who you can trust right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean that. Usually with the top players, it's like, oh, I want to bet all these guys, but I'm forced to pick one. Where's like, I really want to bet any of these guys. I don't know how I can trust them. Now, at the very top, I would lean Rory. I mean that.
Me
I
too.
think last week could have been a bit of a, I don't want to call it a tune-up, but in some ways, the week before, when a player like Rory plays the week before an elevated event, quarter tune-up. Okay. So I am quite excited about Rory's ball striking was immaculate. If I did have to play one, it would be Rory. Hovland, if I knew there's life there, like I'd be ready for it. I mean it.
There's
I'm seeing it
life.
high as
I
16 to
there's
1, Andy.
yeah,
So I'd rather bet Hovland than Xander or Cantley. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that's your other, but you've bet Victor. I guess you told me that you asked for the
Yeah,
tag.
I bet Victor and Ludwig. And I was expecting it to be 12 and 20, and then some 16s on Hovland popped up.
Okay, sell
Um,
me on that. I don't need my arm twisted hard on Victor, but I thought maybe you'd be. I had no idea what you were on coming into this record. I
yeah.
thought maybe Andy would be going back to Rory with the ball striking and tee to green prowess of a week ago. I don't want to say Victor's been hurt, but his early season performance just seems like he hasn't been all there. Tell me why it's coming back, baby.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say I thought long and hard about Rory.
Okay.
Rory is like the guy that worries me the most. I'm with you in that Rory worries me a lot more than Scotty. And I came very close to ultimately going Rory single bullet. I just felt that what I was getting from Hovland and Ludwig was a was going to get me a little bit farther. Now, with that being said, in terms of Hovland, so a lot has been made about the around the green stuff early this year, and he looked really bad around the green in Pebble to the point where he took Phoenix off after being on his schedule to work on golf, not even just a short game, like his full swing, everything. Came back at Riviera and hit the ball well. The ball striking started to get back to Hovland levels. And the short game as well, particularly on Saturday and Sunday, like Hovland gained strokes around the green both on Saturday and Sunday. Now he has another week off to fine tune things. Returns to a golf course that he dominates from tee to green, has gained over 9 strokes ball striking each of the last 2 years at Bay Hill. And there's something about Hovland and thick rough, Geoff. Um, there's something about Hovland and being able to chip better out of thick rough. You look at all of Hovland's best tee to green performances and his best short game performances. Bay Hill, Oak Hill, Los Angeles Country Club was the best short game performance of his career. Olympia Fields, thick rough. Bermuda, thick rough. Eastlake, TPC Southwood. These are all of the courses where Victor knows how to chip because he could just slide the ball under the thick rough, right? And Oak Hill, a golf course I play a dozen times a year. I watched Hovland up close there, and he almost led the field in around the green play that week. So I could go on for hours, but that was even more long winded than you asked for. But I like Hovland this week. I really do.
Okay. That is noted. I haven't, people just sort of been wanting like any sign of like real life to then jump on Hovland, but he's so good, there'll be no warning sign. He's
He was
just
fine
gonna.
at Riviera. What more do people want? Like he
I know
finished
you're right.
top 20
Listen,
at Riviera.
people, you know what how it is. Eh? Like, Rory
Yeah,
could win Bay Hill, and 12 seconds later, will be like, well, what's he gonna do at Augusta?
yeah,
Right. And I'm
totally.
not comparing Rory to Hovland. There's a lot more breathing room in that bag, but you know what I mean. And I feel that'd be great if Victor can get going. I'm certain I've bet him here at the last 2 years at Bay Hill, and there are moments on Sunday where you're like, we're gonna win this thing. We're gonna win this thing. And now he comes here clearly with the confidence of being winning the tour championship, winning Memorial, winning, just being a much better winner than he was a year ago at this time. So maybe it is time for that, Andy, with the
Have
bets you've
have
made.
have just real quick. Have you ever gotten the opportunity to bet Hovland and Ludwig yet in the same week?
No, but I feel like I said this stuff, maybe not on this show, but I've said it lots this year. In this new world of like golf and this ecosystem that is totally fractured, and the fact that clearly, yes, the majors are really all that matters. As golf fans, we have to decide for ourselves what makes an event important. And I joked at Christmas, and part of me is being dead serious. What makes an event important to me is if Ludwig and Victor are playing. Then that event is important. So that's sort of like the headspace I carry. So you're, I'm knobbing on your card. That's, that's how I get. We could waste time talking about the guys in the 20s. If you've got a really
Yeah.
strong take, like you could deliver it, Andy. I do not. I do not. I get why people would like each and every one of those guys, but I don't really know if we have to talk about them. It's the 30s that has me interested,
Mhm.
and you can cut me off and we can get to the 20s, or it's like Tommy Love in Florida, 30, and another top five monster, and Cam Young. I bet him 45 this morning. So Cam Young, 45, Ludwig, 20 are my
Oh,
bets.
great
Matty
number. Those are
Fitzpatrick,
way gone.
35, Willie Z, 33s now. I'm seeing it as high as it can on the odds checker grid. I'd like to maybe add one of those guys. Do you have any thoughts on them? Or if you want to even take it to the 20, do you have any strong leans or fades on any of this 20 to 40 group?
Yeah. So to me, this range of Young, Fitz, Zalatoris, JT is fascinating to me. And getting the better numbers on Ludwig and Hovland, I have room responsibly for a guy at like 40. If I was to go into the 30s, I would
Dude, part of me
be
thought I'm betting Rory.
overexposed.
Part of me
Yeah,
thought I might go Ludwig like in the Cam and Rory. So I don't know, but
fuck it. Yeah. Oh,
I'm
no
just saying,
kidding.
like, I don't know. I could win 6.5, 7 times on three guys. Like, that wouldn't be the worst. So you could add a ball. Like,
I could do a 35 guy and
yeah,
be okay with
like you
it.
could
Yeah,
you could get your win rate number up. Like, you could win what you need to win by adding another body still, I think.
sure.
Confident, actually.
In the, yeah, I mean, 30s I'd be a little overexposed, but I could definitely do something at 40 and above. The problem is I love this 30 range. Like,
So who
I
is
think
it?
I think if you're asking me about my favorite from that group, it's Zalatoris. I think. I think. Like, here's do this for me, Geoff. I'll give you mine first, and then you give me your four. Power rank these four: Fitz, Zalatoris, JT, Cam Young. If you
Oh,
want my ranking, it's such a
you
good
do. Yeah, I'm
four.
not doing it. You do
Okay.
it.
I
Yeah,
could
I
give you
want
mine.
yours. No one
I
needs mine.
I would it's tough. I'd go Zal. I just think the advantage that Cam Young has off the tee here. I think there's three guys that are just starting on second base here because of their driver. It's Rory, Ludwig, and Cam Young right now. So I'd go Zal by a hair over Cam Young. And then Fitz because he's got the course history here. And then I guess I would go JT, but I don't know if I'm biased with still just a bad taste in my mouth from how much he disappointed me at Rev. 35 is an amazing number on JT. It is. I mean, it's just
JT
I
would be
know
my
he
fourth. But you know
yeah,
what? I'll call out each and every one of these guys. Every single one of those guys, 20 to 40, somewhat like be a star. Be it like, so, I want to see the good players be good again, Andy.
yeah.
I
I
mean that. I
think
love golf
there are a
so
lot of
much.
guys you could put
This
into
is
that
not
category.
healthy. This is not healthy for it's like fun and it's like, oh, that's cool. But like when it's happening week after week, I don't think it's good for the game.
No.
So I as much as I want to hit a bet and I'm betting on good players, honestly, I'm submitting like just any high end elite player win this week. Let's just restore order in the universe. There's long shot betters that are like, get these guys off my computer right now. Keep this going.
I
Not
feel
at
the
Bay
same
Hill,
way.
Andy. Not at Bay Hill. We'd embarrass ourselves by dismissing other parts of the board because it keeps
Sure.
coming up. So let's keep going. I could waste
Yeah.
everyone's time by talking about Corey Connor, so we won't. I'll only acknowledge it's Corey Connor's season, folks. What's Corey
Yeah.
Connor's season? Corey Connor's season means Bay Hill, Sawgrass, Valero. We're in the month. Sweeps like March sweeps, or that was a thing on TV, at least when I was younger. This is Connor's sweeps. I don't know what the wins, but the banana stand money's coming back. You got any thoughts in this Wyndham Clark again being disrespected?
Yeah.
Why should Cam Young be shorter than Wyndham Clark? I love Cam Young. I bet on Cam Young. I lose lots of money on Cam Young.
Yeah.
People who bet Wyndham Clark lose lots of money. Responsible.
Yeah. Wyndham's been good to me this year, but I think it's time to hop off in Florida. You know who I tell you is my favorite in this range? I'm thinking about betting him. What about Keegan? Keegan can win this
Sneaky.
event.
I
Yeah,
wanted more.
Keegan.
I wanted more.
I wanted more
Honestly, it's
too.
as high as 60 to
I
1 on the odds checker grid, as low as 45. Not to say I even would have bet it, but I agree with the step in front of it. Like, I
are
don't
there
know. I thought it'd
vibes
be
of
more.
like people don't want you to bet him? Like 45 on Keegan in this field? There was a lingering 80 this morning, and I just totally gone. Like
Didn't
nowhere to
see
be
it. I don't
seen.
know that I would
And
have looked at. I don't know if I was smart enough to like come to it, but yeah, the way Keegan can just sort of, you know, fairways, greens,
good
keep
in
it clean,
Florida. Yeah,
hopefully
good
hit the
good here at
putts.
this golf
Yeah.
course.
Um, Tell y'all, I'll admit to everybody saying uncle, I learned a lesson trying to pick on Jake Knapp last week, Andy, with a Bezuidenhout matchup. Clearly playing, I don't want to say playing with Rory changed the game, but I think it like just elevated him even more. And I love it. Great for Jake Knapp to follow up a win with that sort of performance. He's making a fan out of me, and I'm sure so many people. Kurt Kitayama for the repeat, do anything for you. How about Shane Lowry?
Mm,
But you know what I looked into, Andy, this morning? How
what?
many times do you think I may have gotten suckered into a Shane Lowry bet at Bay Hill because he played well in Honda?
Yeah. And
It's never translated a
and
single time.
he never plays well at Bay
Never
Hill.
plays well. And like, what do you mean? Like, you think like blindly, you think, I don't know, it's Florida, there's a lot of water. Very different courses. Obviously, PGA National is a bit of a comfort zone for Lowry until Sundays, for the most part. But yeah, I think I've been suckered into like a balloon Lowry number at Bay Hill off of lovely ball striking or something at Honda. I'm not getting fooled this year, Andy. Not me. I'll make my own losers.
No, I don't have anything to add. I mean, I think Jaeger bounces back and plays better, but
Well, yeah, I bet Steven Yeager at a course. When you bet, I bet Yeager last week. I'm sorry if I'm coming off like I'm complaining. I You don't bet Steven Yeager with a winning score is going to be 17 under. I bet Steven
yeah.
Yeager because I thought like 8 under, 9 under, 10 under would be in play. Clearly, I was wrong. Triple digits. We can't ignore it. Yeah, just give us find us a winner over 100 to 1, Andy. You trust any of these guys to go beast mode?
Ah, man, Jaeger would be my favorite. Taylor Moore, I like. I don't think he can win. Patrick Rogers. I gotta break up with Svensson, man. I just I don't know. I don't know who body snatched him at the Honda. I thought that was such a perfect spot for him. And that wasn't even close. Like that was maybe my biggest whiff of the season if you correlate my pre-tournament confidence level to the result. I don't know if I've missed on anything bigger than Honda, than Svensson at the Honda. So I'm probably gonna take a break from him this
I'm
week.
gonna
But
have
yeah,
no 100 to ones. If you ask me for one, Luke List 110 on that
sure.
odds
It's a
checker
good
grade.
one.
That would
I
be
can
my
get behind
suggestion.
that.
Andy, probably been long because we love to talk, but we love golf and we could talk about it all day long. But before we do you just have any thought, macro, micro on Puerto Rico?
Oh, Parker Cootie. Parker Cootie
Okay, you're sticking with the
always,
cooties. What was that? What is he,
yeah.
50? What is it?
Yeah, he was 3 strokes back from winning the Cognizant midway
Bro,
through Saturday.
listen, for 500 to 1, you gave people, anyone who tailed you on it, like a moment of like
Well worth the price of admission on Parker
so 40
Cootie.
to 1 on that odds checker grid. It's pretty much 50 to 1, sorry, over at FanDuel on the grid. Everywhere else
Yeah.
is a consensus 40. So if you're getting on Parker with Andy, get in on that one. Could be a sucker for those Chris Gotterup numbers. I see a 28 to 1 on that grid, but I could be getting behind you. And Parker Cootie missed out on playing the 500, but sucker me in for taking a 0 off in Puerto Rico. Um, Anything else, friend?
I got nothing, buddy. Yeah, best of luck at Bay Hill this week. Hopefully our Prince gets it done. Um, Perfect golf course for him. So I'm pretty optimistic. But that will do it from myself. I am Andy Wack. That is Geoffrey Fienberg. This was another episode of The Drive presented by Oddschecker, and we will see you next week. Players Championship.
Smash the like.